YW Magazine. I'm Moses Sumney, and today we're gonna do some ASMR. Well, they've given me some scissors and a piece of paper that says California, which is where I was born. I was born in a part of California that's called the Inland Empire. But when I was 10, I moved to Ghana, West Africa. I always say West Africa because people don't know geography. But now, I don't live in either. I live in North Carolina. In the mountains. And I left California because I really didn't love living in LA. I do think California is a beautiful state. And I visit from time to time. But I really owe my career to California, actually. If I hadn't started in LA, I don't know how I would have gotten my start. I started by singing, performing around Los Angeles in little bars and stuff. And that's basically kind of how I came up in the music scene. I guess it really kind of is the place where dreams can come true. I grew up between California and Ghana, and I was a middle child, a kind of quintessential middle child, in that I was really quiet. I would actually kind of never speak, because I was really, really shy, and I was really small. And when I was 7, my parents took me to the doctor, because they were like, there's gotta be something wrong, just generally. And the doctor was like, he needs to go outside. So I did, but I didn't like it. And I used to just kind of stay in and write songs from a young age. No one in my family is particularly musical, but I don't know where it came from. I like to think it came from the heavens. And I didn't really want anyone to know that I was into music, so I would write songs really quietly. Actually, I didn't know how to play any instruments. And, in a lot of my music now, I sing really softly. And I think that's partially because when I was learning how to write songs, I wanted them to be a secret. And so I got really used to singing at this volume and singing in falsetto and not letting anybody hear me. But I didn't tell anyone actually that I wanted to be a singer. I did tell my parents when I was 11 or 12. And they were like, nah, fam, be a doctor. They're immigrants. So they're like, we're really not seeing it for playing the guitar or whatever. So I kind of kept the dream to myself. And then when I moved to LA for college was the first time I started really performing. So kind of all those years, I kept this notebook of songs under my pillow. And so it's funny because when people from my childhood see me, they're just like, how did he end up becoming a singer? The kid that never talked. How's he acting in films? He couldn't even look you in the eye. I don't, okay. was a kid, I was really, really into country music. Which was funny, like being this like little black African kid in Southern California, obsessed with country music. I could tell you every like 90s country song. And in the house there's a lot of gospel because my parents are pastors, so there's a lot of gospel music. And my dad was really into reggae, so there's a lot of reggae. So of course I hated reggae at the time, but I like it now. Folk music, like in my teens. Folk music, indie rock, Sufjan Stevens, Radiohead, and I got really into jazz, Nina Simone, Ella Fitzgerald. I used to run around the house just like scatting under my breath, and by run I do mean walking at a moderate pace. But I don't know, I think because I grew up in like an immigrant family, my inspiration was always that it could come from anywhere, because I was never attached to like a single identity. They've given me a brand new notebook. Wow. Really takes you back. I really love writing. And in fact, I write all of my songs down, like physically, which doesn't seem that unique to me. But I guess these days, a lot of people just like write on their phones or type on their computers. But for me, a song isn't finished until I can literally write it. Maybe I'm obsessed with the idea of like leaving behind physical relics for the aliens or whatever. I'm writing in cursive right now just to flex. I got a degree in poetry in college. I went to UCLA. I got that, and I think that helps me with my lyrics a little bit. Or it doesn't, I don't know. You don't need to go to college. Don't stay in school. I save all of my notebooks. I have, like in a storage unit somewhere, kind of all of my old notebooks, and I always have one with me whenever I'm traveling, and it's really important to me to keep them. They really kind of like define an era in my life. Picasso, bitch. Making an album is a lot like making lemon water. There's a lot of cutting involved. Oh, I almost always start with the music, so I feel like a musician. Then I start with gibberish. Like I'll play along to something, sing along to something, and just like so I have a lemon water every morning, usually warm. Rarely fizzy, but a song that really represents me well out of my music is my song Doomed, 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 Doomed from my first album. It's just maybe my favorite. Also, there's a song right after that on the album called Indulge Me. Listen to it. The music that I connect with the most is the stuff that just comes out naturally, you know? And I remember when I wrote Doomed, after I sang the first pass of it, and it was a gibberish pass of me just singing along to the chords, I looked out of the window and it started raining, but it was the middle of July and the sun was shining, and I took that as a sign from the universe that the song had been delivered to me. That was what it was like, God delivering Doomed to me. Let him cook. Well, I started to get into the cinematic arts more during the pandemic. After my second album came out, I felt like I needed a break, and I wanted to explore one of my other loves, which was image making. And so I started taking pictures, learning how to shoot on film, and I also started taking acting classes over Zoom, which you truly haven't lived until you've performed a monologue for a Zoom full of strangers. I wanted to be a better storyteller, and I wanted different tools with which to tell stories. Somehow ended up in Hollywood. I have my first movie is coming out this year, Maxine, which is pretty wild. And it's a horror film. But with me, after I came out of Maxine, I was so inspired. I was actually so desperate to be in charge again. So I'll have new music too around the same time, which is very J-Lo. Snack time. The lovely people at W asked if I would eat potato chips for this, and I said no. So, nuts. We've got some lovely almonds, cashews, pistachios. I do have a relatively strict diet. I am one of those people. I basically just eat like a caveman. Meat, veggies, and nuts. Some would say I'm into hunting and gathering. I do like to cook. I think cooking is an art form. Doing dishes is not. They asked if I would eat candy for this, and I said no. We will not be plugging the sugar industry, but we will be plugging my new EP, available anywhere you can get music now. I am a Taurus, which I think is the best sign. I don't know anything about astrology, except that Tauruses love beauty, and I share a birthday with Malcolm X and Grace Jones. I'm going to look into this bowl and tell you my daily daily horoscope. The next few days may be a stressful time, as ideas that have hatched in the past few months bear fruit, and things work out in a way that you have not planned. Nothing worth waiting for comes easy. Your self-expression is at its peak, and you'll gain insights into the direction of your life's journey as a result of facing issues squarely. It's pretty accurate, and I was in the studio till 5 a.m. this morning, and I entered it at 12 p.m. the day before. I do like to work while the world is sleeping. It's nice. I think that's when the inspiration spirits are flying around as well. Flying around and around. Now it is time for some meditative words of affirmation. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. Om. 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 I would say that the life mantra I live by is probably that nothing in life is either this or that, or this or that. That everything in life is more something in the middle. And it's good to remember that. It's really kind of the theme of all of my work. Finding the middle. Finding the gray areas. Existing in it. This is not how I imagined my day going. But I'm going to cut this young lady's hair. And it feels really symbolic for me because I used to be blonde. What shall we call her? If she's to symbolize, perhaps, an older version of myself. If she's the caterpillar, and I'm the butterfly, who is she? Maybe we could call her Moesha, maybe Megan. This is very cathartic. This is how I make my music. In the mountains. Wow. And now for the She's shy. Here's our final look. Check out the back. Like I said, life is neither this or that. Sometimes it's both. This is what I have to offer musically. If you'd like to check out my discography, it is now streaming. This is what W Magazine sounds like. And tastes like. Not bad. Thanks so much for